Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property. Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Some people might be wondering, how is it that you were able to save so much so early on, but you did everything that everybody else did, right? Like, I left the house very early in my life. I got me a luxury apartment, which was not that expensive at the time. It was less than $1,000, and with utilities and everything else, is about $1,400 a month, probably less than that, definitely less than that. And you had a nice car. It was only 3 years old at the time of the purchase. Was it a 2017 or 2015? So it was 5 years old at the time. Was it a 2017? 2016? All right, I made a song about the car. So it was a 2016 car. So it was 4 years old at the time. I might have actually bought it in 2019. So it was just 3 years old, turning 4 years old. Look at that. But anyway, 4 years old vehicle, nice luxury apartment with an extra bedroom. And guess what? You were still able to save. You were still able to see family when you wanted to. You were still able to invest for your future. And then you were still able to, just about a year later, buy your first rental property, and you continue to go up from there. How were you able to do that? All right. Now, I won't lie. We went over this in my road from broke to millionaire. There was some packages that I received from Amazon. Obviously, Amazon has many packages that they offer, just like various other companies like Google, Facebook, maybe even Tesla, and various others. They'll offer travel packages for relocation, which I received. They'll offer packages when you quit or leave the company as well, which I received. And then I was also able to find a job in the restaurant industry very, very quickly. I'm talking about maybe a week apart from when I quit. So that just allowed me to continue to create income where I was making more than I did at Amazon. And so that definitely helps. How did I get there? I had an education, but you don't need an education to work at Amazon. You could just work there for 3 years and work your way up. So there's various ways to get it. You don't have to go into student loan debt and things like that. I worked my way through college, so I graduated with no student loan debt. But buying the second property was even easier. Okay, I had a little bit of passive income coming in. I had a property manager. I was in the Army. I wasn't spending any money, right? So when everybody was buying those new cars in the Army, like you always hear that they do, I didn't do it. This is like kind of the second part 2 of the broke to millionaire portion. So I didn't buy any of those nice cars. In fact, I told them, hey, you're not going to do, Toro. You're not going to do Toro with this vehicle. You're going to use it more than it's on Toro. You're not going to make money with this vehicle, and you're going to have a $1,000 payment on it because you have no credit. You're not going to do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. They didn't listen. They bought the cars. They had fun with the cars, with the women, and with the thrill of driving. But what happened in the end? They ended up selling the vehicles, having no money, right? Like, all that money went to that. And so when I was in the Army and I was in Texas for a little while, I would buy some African food, no more than $20 every weekend, only on the weekend. And throughout the week, unless there was a coupon, I wouldn't even buy Domino's. So I would get a coupon and I would buy me a medium pepperoni pizza from Domino's, maybe once a week as well. So I wasn't spending more than $30 in any given week, and I wasn't spending more than $20 most weeks. And it was mainly on African food. So with that being said, when the average person was going to the bars and buying drinks, would I buy a drink? Sure, but that would mean that I'm also not buying African food that week. When people were buying new clothes to impress others, or when we're around everyone and Amazon deliveries came in and everybody wanted the best and latest things, the only thing I ever bought was like fish oil pills from Amazon when I was in the Army. So I wasn't really buying a lot of stuff. And people can get envious when you see someone else buying different things, having new clothes, having this and that. You start to say, oh my goodness, I should have that too. I should start doing that too. But for me, it was like, no, I don't need these things. I know who I am. I'm good. And so I just did my own thing. I didn't buy it. Yes, you had to sit down while everybody else was getting their stuff. It's not really nice mentally to have to sit down and watch people just, purchase things. Like, that's horrible. So, of course, you're going to be enabling other people to want to spend their money. Like, that's just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But especially with these young and impressionable minds. But me knowing history, I knew that most of these people in the Army are broke. You don't have to pay for your food. You don't have to pay to live. And yet you still broke. Why? You got to buy everything. And a lot of times I just don't understand, where did the money go? And when it goes to a card that you don't pay off, it disappears. The money just disappears. And that's what you realize with people. Like, the money just absolutely just disappears. And so I stood steadfast. 10 months later, I bought my own. I bought this one that we're living in now. This property that I'm living in now, and that was with income from one, selling the first vehicle that I had, buying a cheaper vehicle. I think that the money from the vehicle sale that I did was actually very comparable to the purchase price of the vehicle that I now have. So that was like a break even, which is really, really good for me, even though the vehicle that I have now is a lot older than the one that I had previously. And then another thing that I will say is that, just being diligent, not spending thousands of dollars on a vehicle. Especially with the car market the way it was, they were asking for way over MSRP, and I'm glad they did, because I ended up putting that same amount down that they wanted me to spend on a vehicle as a down payment on a home. And that wouldn't have happened had I purchased the vehicle that I wanted, and I wouldn't be here right now in this home. So I'm super, super glad everything shook out the way they do. I can tell you guys that I'm very, very lucky, because, I get upset when people try to hit me over the head, when people try to negotiate more than what something is worth. Like, you really wanted me to pay $30,000 for a $21,000 vehicle, and I offered $25,000 up front. $25,000 up front. So I offered $4,000 over asking up front, and because I did that, they probably thought that they can go up even more. Right? They thought that they can go up to 30. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to walk away from this vehicle. It wasn't even the color that I wanted. They only had 3 that they were showing. And so I didn't even get the color I wanted. I didn't even get to test drive it. I just sat in the vehicle. I'm like, nah. And then they put this Clearasil thing on it, which is just a spray. And they said that would be $2,000 more. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that. And they said it was a dealer option. And I was like, well, it's not a consumer option, so why would you put it on a vehicle? I didn't ask for it. And so I was very upset the whole time by what they were doing. And I'm so glad that I just walked out of there. I'm so glad that they didn't get any of my money. And, we just move on. And, again, very, very happy how things turned out. But you have to be willing to say no. You have to be willing to sacrifice certain things. You have to be willing to not allow materialistic things to get a hold of you. They tried everything. Hey, why don't you just finance the rest? Hey, why don't you just, put a loan on the vehicle? hey, why don't you just, they didn't say lease, but of course that was an option to lease the vehicle, right? And I said no. I just came back to the city and I'm going to look to purchase a home. I don't want to have a higher debt to income ratio because I don't know what type of house I'm going to be going for. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I ended up not getting the car that I wanted, but I got the house that I could get. And I'm, again, grateful for that. An investment versus a liability, the investment won out. So understand that sacrificing is probably the easiest thing for me. It might be harder for others. Just like learning a new skill, I don't want to do it, right? But if I'm in a group setting, if I'm in a class setting, I can do it. But if I'm by myself, I really don't want to be learning a new skill. So it really takes a lot more effort for me to do that. But when it comes to finances, when it comes to studying up on finances, it requires no effort for me to do that because I love doing that. And so try to find stuff that you love to do that are going to impact you financially in a positive way. Like I like to cook. I like to do things around the house. I don't really have a lot of stuff that I like to do outside. And so those also impact me in a positive way. Look for those things that also impact you positively and do more of those things, which will allow you to have a better financial future overall. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.